Sark inherited a team where uh, the offensive line was it wasn't the most stacked room, and I think the most stacked room here on this campus was probably wide receiver. We had a bunch of wide receivers and a bunch of tight ends here on this team once Sark arrived, and not a lot of offensive line talent. I've made this statement previously, about 2 years ago, and I said that just doing all of the research here on the Texas team, the 5 years prior to Steve Sarkisian coming in and being the coach here at the University of Texas, Texas was dead last in recruiting, getting commitments from offensive linemen out of any team in the Big 12. They were tied dead last with Kansas. Okay, folks, I think that was 18 commitments, which was tied dead last with Kansas. I think the first team was OU, I think with 26 or 25, somewhere around there. And I think Baylor also. Baylor had about 24 or so. But at the time, that was Matt Rule who was doing all that. He had stacked all that talent there for those years, and they end up going to the Big 12 championship, I think in Dave Aranda's first year, and ended up winning it, or his second year. And then, of course, OU, they've always stacked a ton of talent on the lines, and we've seen what that's done for them here over the past decade. But Texas didn't. Texas had very good, outstanding recruiting classes here at Texas. And it did nothing for us because our recruiting talent, our 5-star guys, our high 4-star guys, were all skill positions: running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, cornerbacks. But when it came to the trenches, especially on the offensive side of the ball, we didn't have a lot of no-kidding war daddies on that side of the ball. And I think Steve Sarkisian looked at that and he addressed that very soon and very quickly once he got here to Texas. Like I said, 18 recruits coming in for the 5 years prior to Steve Sarkisian coming in. And in Sark's first 2 years, he brings in 12 offensive linemen recruits. And we're seeing the fruits of that labor here as Texas has just won the Big 12 here on Saturday and also punched their ticket to the college football playoffs on Sunday. We're seeing all up and down that line the talent that Sark has brought in. You're seeing a Kelvin Banks Jr. You're seeing a DJ Campbell. You're seeing Cole Hudson come in and play and be great at what he does too as well. We're seeing Connor Robinson come in as a backup center. We're seeing Cam Williams that he's had to come in and start a couple games while Christian Jones was out. We're seeing the development of previous guys that were on Herman's staff, Herman's guys, which a guy like Hayden Connor, a guy like Christian Jones, even though Hayden Connor was never coached by Sark. Was never coached by Herman. I think Sark's first year was Hayden's first year, if I'm not mistaken. But Christian Jones was a guy who was here and coached by Herman, and Sark and Flood come and get the best out of Christian Jones. Christian Jones is going to be a draft pick, folks. He's already accepted his invite to the Senior Bowl. When you go to that Senior Bowl, folks, that's where all the teams are going to be there to evaluate you and to interview you and to see you up and close and see you on your one-on-ones. And those guys get drafted. And that's a true testament to Coach Sark, to Coach Flood, but also to Christian Jones to be able to be coached and do great things as well. But, folks, I just want to take a look at the roster and just show you guys how important and why it is so important for a coaching staff to bring in as many high quality offensive linemen as possible, because it's not only going to, bring in outstanding kids with good character and guys that are high, 4-star guys and 5-star guys, but the lifeline of your team, folks, is in those trenches. It's on the defensive line and it's on the offensive line. So I will caveat this with saying, on the defensive line, folks, the previous staffs didn't do a bad job at recruiting defensive line talent. I will say that, but we're going to focus on both the defensive line and the offensive line, and we're going to do just a little preview of the things that we have in store here for the next coming years and do a review of what we had here for the past 3 years. But prior to us getting into that, folks, let's take a small break and listen to our first sponsor. All right, folks, we're back, man. And as we go through this roster, we are going to, well, first off, this is the 2021 roster. So this is Sark's first season here, and this is showing the guys here that were on campus in 2021, the roster that he had to deal with once he got here to the University of Texas. And we're going to scroll down first to the offensive lineman because I want to go and show you guys just exactly what was on this campus and what Sark has had to deal with over his first couple years while trying to get the adequate talent level that Texas needs. So let's scroll down to the 50s. The 50s are the offensive linemen, right? Seen some blast from the past. You know, look at Marcus Washington and the Moochie Dixon and Ovia Gofu. We're getting to that here for the D line as well. But let's go and go down to the 50s. Offensive linemen. All right, offensive linemen. We're seeing Jake Majors. So look, folks, I'm only going to look at the scholarship guys, okay? So Jake Majors, 6'3", 310 pound. He was a redshirt freshman in 2021. So this was, his year to start here for Sark. And we've all known that Jake Majors has basically started here from day one with Sarkisian and Flood as the starting, starting center here at Texas. So there we go right there. Topi Amadi. Topi, 6'6", 361-pound guy. Now, I tell you what, Topi was coming on to his own in those last 6 games of the season. I think Topi actually started here in those last 6 games of his senior year. I would have loved to see Topi have extra time with Cal Flood, because we started to see the maturation process with him real quick. Topi's a smart guy too as well. He picks up things very quick. You can tell the coaching that he got from Flood was instrumental in just his quick turnaround. I would have loved to see him a good 2 or 3 year span with this coaching staff. And you got a guy that size, 6'6", 360, kind of guys that Cal Flood loves. I'm telling you, man, this is a guy I think missed out on the opportunity to have guys like Flood in his back pocket to help him be the best player that he could be. Next guy, folks, is Kurt Stetter. He's no longer with the team. He left, right? He played a few games, and then he bounced. I think he went to, I forgot, was it U of H or Sam Houston? One of them, but he's no longer at Texas. So he's gone. Andre Carrick, he played a little bit. He's gone. We primarily used him as our jumbo tight end last year in the Big 12 package, right? And so he was our jumbo tight end as the second tight end once we came in and look. He's gone. He's at Tennessee right now. I think Andre Carrick is the starting left guard at Tennessee, but he didn't get a chance to see the field at Texas. So you're looking at 2 scholarship guys here: Derek Kerstetter, Andre Carrick, no longer with the team. Okay. Christian Jones. I just talked about Christian Jones at 6'6", 314. I think his freshman year, Christian Jones actually started off at the left tackle position, ended up moving over to right tackle once we got in Kelvin Banks Jr. Christian Jones has been an outstanding plus player at Texas since Cal Flood and team have been here. So Jones is one. Logan Parr, he's gone. He's at SMU right now. Tyler Johnson, he's gone as well. This was a 5-star guy. He's gone for whatever reason. He just never panned out. Hufkin, he's gone as well. He's no longer with the team. Germay, he is gone. And I thought that we were going to see something with him. He was the backup center as well, but he's gone. I don't know where he's at, but he's not on the team anymore. Junior Anglau, he is at Oregon right now. He's gone. So he's no longer with the team. He had a crazy ankle injury, which caused him to miss the entire season last year, and he ended up transferring to Oregon. So he's gone. Hayden Connor, a true freshman. This was Sark's, his first class here, trying to keep that class together. We've seen Hayden Connor coming here, and he started last year and also this year as well. One of the best pass blocking guards here in the Big 12. Really good prospect when he came in, and he has developed himself into a really good player here at Texas. Like I said, starting for 2 seasons here. So Hayden Connor's still here, starting left guard. Jalen Garth, he's gone as well. He's transferred. So Denzel Okafor, he was a senior, so he graduated and he is gone. And Max Merrill, he was a scholarship guy as well. He didn't play at all, right? And so you're looking at all these offensive linemen that Texas had. And we're going to count all of these scholarship guys. Max Meredith, 1. Denzel Okafor, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 scholarship guys here on campus at Texas for Sark's first year. 13. 13, folks. And to be honest with you, out of those 13, you're talking about guys that got reps. Jake Majors, that's 1. Tope got some reps, that's 2. Kerstetter, that's 3. Andre Carrick, 4. Christian Jones, 5. Junior Angelau, when he was healthy, 6. Hayden Connor, 7. Right? That was it. Oh, and Okafor, 8. So those were our top 8. All right. And so the guys who have left here are not NFL prospects. They're not. Denzel Okafor, I think he had a cup of coffee, maybe. Yeah, and there's Max Merrill. He didn't play either. So Max Merrill's gone after this year. Okafor, I think he went to training camp with the Jaguars, but he's no longer with the team. Jalen Garf, he's gone. Hayden Connor has a shot to go to the league as well. I don't think Angela does, just from injuries and things of that nature, but don't know. We shall see. Germay, no. Hufkin, no. I think Hufkin actually medically retired, if I'm not mistaken. Tyler Johnson, no. Logan Parr, no. Christian Jones, yes. He's going to go to the league. Andre Carrick, probably not. Kerstetter, not. Topi's graduated. And Jake Majors, maybe. Right? So that's the team. That's who Texas had in 2021 at offensive line. So once we're talking about the trenches and just the trench work, Sark had it pretty difficult when it comes to the offensive lineman here at Texas once he first got here. Now, of course, we understand what he has done to build up that offensive line. And you know what? I'm going to deviate and I'm going to go to 2023, and we're going to look at the offensive line here for 2023. And we're just going to see how much different this is across the board for the University of Texas, and just how far Sark has come when it actually deals with this team in the trenches. So, folks, I'm going to go down. Let's take a look. Let's go back down to the 50s. And, folks, you're going to see a lot of talent here in this team when it comes to the lines for what Sark has done, bringing in 12 players in 2 years, and you're going to see those 12 players plus some more. Look here, folks. Number 52, DJ Campbell, sophomore, 5-star, highest rated guy in our 2022 class. He's our starting right guard. He's going to the league, folks. Okay. So he's a scholarship guy. Cole Hudson, scholarship guy. Also, high 4-star offensive lineman. He split time. He actually started all last year at right guard. Him and Campbell have had a dogfight for that position this year. I think Cole Hudson came in. I think he was hurt, so a tad, so he didn't get a chance to actually start this year. But Campbell started. Cole Hudson is probably one of the most versatile guys we have in this team. He has a great shot of going to the league as well. He's a guy that can play both guard positions. He's been having reps also at the center position as well, being a big guy at 6'5", 318 pounds or so. But he's a guy he's taken a lot of snaps as a true freshman last year, and this year backing up and playing that swing player that can play guard, tackle, center, whatever you need him. Cole Hudson's there. The next guy we're going to talk about, folks, is Big Cam Williams at 6'5", 370, 369. He's going to the league, folks. Cam Williams is going to the league. He came in and played some ball here behind Christian Jones. And once Christian Jones got hurt for a couple games, Cam Williams came up and played outstanding, one of the highest rated run blocking guys for that game that he started. He's going to be a plus player, and I can't wait to see what he does next year at right tackle. So if we go down, Sawyer Goran Welch, folks, he's a scholarship guy. Interesting story. He started off on the defensive side of the ball. So him playing defense, we needed numbers on offense. That's kind of where we were, folks. We needed numbers on offense. And so it looks like he made the decision and swapped over to offense. And he was our second or third string center last year, right? So that tells you just how devoid of bodies we had on the offensive line. But that has gotten much better. Connor Robinson, backup center, came in against Oklahoma, played really well. You got to love what you see from Connor Robinson, being the guy who can possibly come in and play next year once Jake Majors leaves, if it's this year or next year. Okay, scholarship guys. Jake Majors, Jake Majors. There he is. Just look here, man. He is Mr. Reliable. Knows all the calls. Great player. You got to love what you're seeing from Jake Majors as well. Like I said, a great shot of going to the NFL as well. Christian Jones. We just talked about Christian Jones, 6'6", 321, senior. He's going to the league this year, folks. Invite to the Senior Bowl. Invite to the Senior Bowl. He's going to the league, folks. Now, we're getting to our younger guys. True freshman, Peyton Kirkland, 6'6", 350, four-star guy from Florida, folks. He's sitting in the wings, waiting to play. He's letting his body mature. See, this is when you start to get that competitive depth. You got a guy like him. You got a guy like Neto. Neto at 6'4", 311, folks, who is also a high four-star guy that was between us and Baylor where he was going to go and a bunch of other teams. But you got him as well. Neto is a guy who is he's probably going to be in competition for that left guard position next year. Him and Hayden Conner are probably going to dogfight that out. Neto's nasty, folks. He's nasty. Max Merrill, he graduated, if I'm not mistaken. He's a grad. Yeah, he walked on senior night, I think. So he's going to be gone next year, probably grad transferring. Trevor Gooseby, this staff is high on Trevor Gooseby. A 6'7" kid, 285 pounds. He's a true freshman. It's a guy that's sitting, waiting. So he's letting his body mature. That's what you want from a true freshman offensive lineman. I actually interviewed Trevor. Good kid, man. I love the interview that me and him did together. Another guy we're going to talk about is Jaden Chapman. He's another guy that I interviewed. He's a plus player as well, coming out of Harker Heights High School in Harker Heights, Texas. He's a true freshman, sitting, waiting his turn. Both these guys, Gooseby and Jaden Chapman, these guys were wanted by a ton of teams, folks. A ton of teams in the country. Previous Texas staffs, we would have to play these guys soon and play them early because we just didn't have the depth. We have the depth where we can let these guys cook. They're going to cook and do damn well, especially when it's time for us to go to the SEC. Hayden Conner, hey, Mr. Reliable, great shot of going to the NFL also. Starting left guard for a couple years straight. Hayden is a dude. You got to love what you're seeing. One of the highest rated guards here in the Big 12 when it comes to pass blocking. Hayden Conner, he's a dude, plus player. Andre Kojo, another guy that I interviewed here, true freshman. You're seeing the size here, folks, 6'6", 355. He's a big guy. He's a freshman that's waiting his turn as well. We're not relying on these guys who have to come in and play. We're letting them get their bodies right for college football. Let the game slow down for them. Andre Kojo is sitting, waiting in the wings. Kelvin Banks Jr., he's the big man on campus, right? Starting left tackle since he was a true freshman. Everybody ain't like Kelvin Banks Jr., folks. I don't even think Kelvin Banks Jr. was an early enrollee. I think he came in the summer, and he took that left tackle job by storm and was one of the calming factors on that offensive line his true freshman year. All Big 12 performer, freshman All-American. Kelvin Banks is going to be a top 10 pick in next year's draft, folks. Straight talent. This is what this staff is doing when it comes to bringing people in. And Connor Stroh, I interviewed Connor Stroh as well. Like I like to call him, I am the president of the Connor Stroh fan club. One of my favorite freshmen too as well. 6'7", 364. Another guy who's letting his body mature. He's getting some seasoning behind the scenes right now, folks. And you're seeing guys like this, Connor Stroh and the Kojos and the Chapmans and the Goosebys and the Peyton Kirklands. These guys are waiting their time. And I didn't even talk about Malik Agbo, who is also an offensive lineman. He was a lot bigger coming out of high school, but now we have Agbo as our Big 12 jumbo tight end when they come in that Big 12 package. And he comes in and he blocks his butt off, man. And it's another way to assure that we get these talented offensive linemen on the field as soon as possible when we can. So those are the offensive linemen, folks. We're going to pivot and go to the defensive line from 2021 and contrast that with 2023 as well. But folks, first, let's go into our second sponsor and we'll get straight over to it.